This is a marketing machine meant to shame us.
There was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, there wasn't a social media account for Candace Swanepoel or Adriana Lima.
Right.
However, I could Google them. I could Google their waist measurements. I could
Wow.
pull
Did
up.
you?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Wow.
I had a notes page on my phone of all their measurements.
Wait,
Um,
say that for me again. No, break that down. So you would Google supermodels
yes,
or
yes.
public figures and their waist measurements
Mhm.
and write them in your. So
And
what
they're-
was the goal? I'm writing this down in order for me to compare myself, in order for it to be like a measurement of quote unquote success. Was that the idea?
Definitely, it was seeing these women who I thought were stunning and
Right.
who society had deemed like quote unquote made it. I
Right.
mean, when I was growing up, it felt like if you were a Victoria's Secret model, if you walked that fashion show, you were one of the most beautiful women in the world. And so, of course, I idolized them. I aspired to be like them. You look at the old campaigns, I mean, everything is one specific way. It's very
Totally.
clear what the beauty standard was. I also want to acknowledge the privilege I have of being closer to that standard than most people.
Appreciate that. Yep.
I still, though, felt this pressure to make sure every single thing was exact. And so, yes, I would pull up my Victoria's Secret app at 13, 14 years old. I would record on my phone what their measurements were. And then I would measure myself. And of course, try to have that specific number, which of course I remember. I won't say it because I don't want to like bring that into people's thoughts and have them worrying about it. But I still remember what those numbers were and how I wasn't there.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah, it does. It's wild for me to sit here though and reflect it because I'm
Yeah.
in such a different place. But let's stay in the trenches, Tori, because we got a long episode.
We do. Okay. So role models for this like diet culture and media. You said Victoria's Secret models. Who else are you looking at?
I think you're looking at celebrities. It wasn't even just people exemplifying this beauty standard. It was the active call outs and
Mm.
the way that society communicated what you should not be.
Right.
And if a celebrity had gained weight like a Jessica Simpson or
I remember
like the
that.
character in Wizards of Waverly Place, Harper, who was supposed to be quote unquote this ugly duckling.
Right.
And it's like you look at these photos now thinking this is a totally normal woman.
She
Whatever
looks complete and yeah.
whatever normal means.
Right.
And yet at that time it was so obvious to us that if you fell outside the lines of this beauty standard, these celebrities are on the cover of Vogue, Us Weekly, OK. Sorry, not Vogue. They're on the cover of Us Weekly, OK magazine, all the tabloids, about their weight gain or so-and-so is fat now. All of the messaging is about weight.
Right.
And you see it mainly tied to women. And so not only do I have this little equation I figure out in this one interaction as a 12-year-old in my life, but I'm growing up realizing how we look is essentially the most important part of us and the
Right.
most important thing.
Right.
And then I in turn became obsessed with that being exactly what I thought it was quote unquote supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, and that weight equals your self-worth.
Yes.
That the number, this random number on the scale is your measurement. But I was gonna say pun intended, but that seems insensitive. But like literally
Right.
is your yardstick for
Mhm.
what is good, right? Or what is normal.
Totally.
So I think about like Mary Kane's story with like the Nike's Oregon project. We'll link it. And how it seems like there's these high level training programs completely ignoring that bodies need nutrition, that like bodies need fuel. Are things getting better now that more like athletes are coming forward in this industry in particular?
Well, the Mary Kane story is unique because she was a track athlete and the situation that happened with her, I honestly feel like from the experiences I've had in Division 1 athletics and then also with the universities I speak to across the divisions, I would say the issue is more the way that we learn about nutrition and how to fuel our bodies can be and often is very versed in diet culture. I mean,
Tell me more about that.
the people who are nutritionists and dietitians have been essentially coached in diet culture. And I have learned this, studied this from whether it is the now anti-diet dietitians I follow who are
Right.
amazing, which I can provide you with some awesome resources you can share with everyone.
It'll be great.
And they even talk about how they've had to kind of relearn and unlearn what they were taught in school because it was fat phobic or it was restrictive behavior that would lead to disordered behavior. And so I think the way that it is learned can cause these disordered eating behaviors, can lead to eating disorders. For example, I can remember times where, a professional in this space, would say, well, how many carbs are you eating to how much you're burning? Are you going to be running a marathon? Just extremes. And then while there maybe is some science on paper that you need a certain amount of carbohydrates based on the exercise you're going to be doing, sure. And even then I hesitate because
that is machine robot shit. We're human beings.
But I also think it's wild how I could go find right now someone with all the credentials and doctor in front of their name that would tell you go keto, and then I could find someone with all the same credentials that would tell you absolutely don't go keto. So which to me is a problem. The fact that it's we don't even know if a dietitian or nutritionist, do they have an eating disorder? Did they get into this field because of the structure that they have around food?
Right.
The dietitian I worked with when I was young, sweet woman, I only think good things of her, but I was 16 years old tracking my calories in, calories out to lose 2 pounds a week in high school. And that was an appointment my mom brought me to because I requested to lose weight. And we thought we were doing the right thing by going to a professional. But this professional only taught me how
because this professional still exists in a system that is fat phobic and disordered and all of these things.
And is looking at me in a body that would have been presumably closer to this beauty standard and saying, great, let me help you lose 2 pounds a week.
As opposed to, you don't need to lose weight.
Right, right.
Yeah. So we've been tiptoeing around this. The diet industry.
No tiptoeing.
No, but I'm in it now.
Okay.
Diet industry is $1 billion a year industry. $1 billion with a B. And even as you're talking, right, I'm thinking about all of these things.
And not even 1 billion, 60 billion
multi-billions.
plus.
Yes. And I'm thinking about, even you said one person says keto, one person says this, I remember, probably around the same age as you, 12 or 13, my mom getting a, what was it, the Atkins diet? She got the Atkins diet book.
Right, and Weight Watchers.
And what was it, the South Beach diet? I still remember what that book looked like.
Yes, I remember South Beach. I tried it.
I
tried everything.
Still remember. So this is where we talk about the financial implications of this. So this is a marketing machine meant to shame us into purchasing diet books, workout gear, clothes that make us look better. Talk to me about the marketing implications of a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Let me tell you how it works.
Yes,
Let me
please.
pull back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz here.